Okay, today is August the 1st, 2016, and right now at 9:30 p.m. in the foothills of Los Angeles, we have a temperature of 71 degrees. The relative humidity is 61%. The dew point is 57 degrees, and we have a barometer reading of 29.95 inches, and that is rising. We're watching the Northeast Pacific water vapor loop, and we can see that this storm here is now a tropical storm. This was a tropical depression, 9E, I think it was, and now it is officially a tropical storm. Howard is the name they've put on that storm. Let's go take a look at the National Hurricane Center. We can see that Howard has winds of 50 miles per hour and has a core pressure of 999 millibar. And this storm is moving west-northwest at 14 miles per hour. And then to the southeast of that storm, Howard, we have another disturbance with a 40% chance of hurricane formation in 2 days. So we'll keep an eye on that storm as well. Let's go back to the big map and note that there is high pressure being installed right between these two storms. We can see that happening here. This is all starting to become black. And this, by tomorrow, this area right down in here will be all blackened out, and that will maintain separation between these two storms and prevent any of the moisture from this developing system from feeding this system here, which is being blown apart. We can see the Photoshop overlays later on in the visible light map. We'll take a look at that. We have upper level low right out here. We still have this blockade that's been set up. None of this moisture is moving down south of the nothing is moving south of into Washington, roughly at the latitude of Washington State. We can see that nothing is moving into the United States here. We have a dry upper low up here, and we have several lows scattered around. But look at California and Oregon are very dry, very little moisture in Southern California, where all this monsoonal flow should be moving into the state. Okay, and also we have thunderstorms right down here, which are about to be blown apart right here. You can see the blast pattern right there in the last few frames. We're going to take a look at that next here in a few minutes. Here is the infrared map, and we can see Howard, which is being targeted with microwave. We can see some blast patterns right here. And also over on this system, there is some photoshopping, and that would indicate that storm is being targeted as well. And also these storms up here are being hit. We'll take a look at that. And California is high and dry. No weather to speak of. No rain. Let's go take a look next at the East Pacific water vapor loop. We can see Howard and this new tropical disturbance right here. And by tomorrow, we'll see a clearing set up between these two systems. You see that core was blown apart earlier today. This is a 7.5 hour loop. The system rebuilds. That deep purple is way over here on the right side of the scale as the most intense thunderstorm activity. Let's take a look next at the East Pacific infrared loop. See the blast patterns right here on these monsoonal thunderstorms right there towards the end. Blast patterns right there on the western side. All right, let's look at the visible light mode, and we can see the photoshopping overlay. We'll go ahead and stop this at the right moment here. We can see the photoshopping overlay on the core over here on that area. That's Howard. And then we have over here, we have photoshopping overlay right on top of that core. And then we have photoshopping all up and down on those storms right along here. These monsoonal thunderstorms are all covered over with overlay to hide the microwave evidence. And we can see some shock waves and blast pattern evidence right in this area up here. All right, let's take a look next at the southwest water vapor loop. We can see that there's a lot of thunderstorms developing right here over Mexico and Arizona and New Mexico, but nothing really over the eastern California area except for a small cell here which is being blown apart. We can see the blast pattern right there towards the end of this loop. Let's go take a look at this in the rainbow map, and we can see that that system is wiped out. That probably generated very little precipitation. This is right at the California, Nevada, and Arizona border where those three lines meet. That's right where Hoover Dam and Las Vegas are. We have the Colorado River, which is this dividing line right here. And on the Modus Today map, I wanted to check out that map, and of course the entire area is whited out, so we can't see what happened as far as the aerosol spraying today. We'll have to settle for, hang on a second here. Whoops, wrong one. Okay, here we go. We had a corrupted map. I got rid of that one. So here we're seeing the photoshopping in this area right here and over here. You see the overlay. They're hiding their work. We can see the color change. So California is being droughted out. There's got to be radomes along this area. We need to have a group of people that are willing to drive out to Eastern California, myself included, and take some pictures along the border of Nevada and along the border of Arizona. There's got to be radomes along this area because these storms are being systematically superheated and blown apart, and we got to find out how that's happening. It's probably happening at the surface level using these giant golf ball radomes, which house very powerful phased array type transmitters, which can focus RF energy like a magnifying glass can focus light. They can pan and tilt the RF energy, the radio wave, or rather the radio frequency energy. This is in the microwave band, so it's engineered to heat water vapor very effectively. There are certain microwave frequencies that are very effective at heating water vapor, so that's what they're probably using. We need to get some people along the California border and up in the Sierra to mark these. I know that there's a fellow named Dutch Sense, all one word, Dutch Sense, on YouTube. He's cataloged a lot of these ground-based transmitters all over the place, so they might already be cataloged. I haven't looked at his site for a while, but just so everyone knows, Dutch Sense has done a lot of work on naming these heaters, these transmitters. And so take a look at Dutch Sense's website. If you don't know how to spell that, Google or Bing will correct it for you. It's spelled, I think, Dutchsince. Okay. All right, let's take a look at this is the surface sea level pressure map. And you can see that there's high pressure, perpetually installed high pressure out here in the eastern Pacific. We have a low indicated here. We have high indicated right over Colorado, and then we have another low indicated, and then we have, amazingly, we have high pressure right over these monsoonal thunderstorms right here. We got a high indicated 1,015 millibar. All right, let's take a look at the 500 millibar map, 18,000 feet. We see a low pressure system indicated here. We have high pressure all through this area. We have an upper level low here, which is going to be blocked by this high pressure, so this will not drop down. This is how they're preventing our rain. They just install high pressure, and there it stays. All right, let's take a look at the 300 millibar map at 30,000 feet. And we see that upper level low. That's not going to go anywhere because we've got high pressure indicated here. And also we've got low pressure indicated right next to high pressure. So they've got some high pressure, or rather low pressure, right over at 30,000 feet right over Texas. But we've got high pressure, and we've got several low pressures. In fact, there's a number of them, but none of them are going to get into California, at least for the time being, because they've got this place blockaded with high pressure. All right, now here's the MODIS Today map. Notice that this big swatch of this is covering from about well, just south of Monterey to all the way down to the border of California and Mexico. This is all whited out. We can't see what is going on with the aerosols, but if we zoom in and pan around to some areas that are available, we can see that there is some spraying. For example, let's just take a look here. We have some natural clouds. Get this thing out of the way. I got too much paper on my desk again. Okay, let's get the camera here going. All right, natural clouds are brilliant white. We see those right here. Then we have the chemtrail mix, which is this off-white, this gray off-white stuff. This is the stuff they spray over the tops of these developing thunderstorms. Here we have a thunderhead, it looks like, that brilliant white cloud formation there. Same right down here. This is all brilliant white. This camera, I don't know if it's picking up the subtle color change, but this is all gray chemtrail mix, and it looks kind of feathered, and we can actually see some herringbone patterns in this stuff too, these straight lines. All right. Now if we go down south, here's the Gulf of California. We can see that we have chemtrails all sprayed all through this area. And then we have some natural clouds below that, which are very easy to spot. We can see all this natural cloud formations, nice brilliant white cumulus clouds. And then we have this chemtrail crap. They spray that over the tops of all these clouds, and that prevents the lift. We have to have two things for precipitation. One is moisture, and number two is lift. And these chemical aerosols prevent the lift, and that's why in California, in Southern California, we don't have any rain because of this operation. And I don't think the governor of California has a clue what's going on. The EPA, I don't know what the hell they do all day long, or any of these people. I don't know what they do all day, every day. But this is why we're doing these videos, to showcase this